Welcome to Newsworthy Stories with Jacqueline Jimenez. There are so many people now that have podcasts, they have shows, but a lot of people don't know how to monetize that podcast or film or how to even go about sharing that documentary in a way that you can be profitable. Well, joining me today to talk more about how to monetize your podcast or show or film is Tam Lawrence. She's Tam Lawrence of Exposure Plus TV. Tam, thanks for joining me. Right?
Thank
So
you.
glad to talk. It's been so interesting because we've had so many interesting conversations already about exposure TV. And, I needed to understand it more. And now I'm like, wow, this is very interesting. And the way you have set up your platform, uh, it's not only intriguing, but it is clean. It is sharp. It's professional. And I want more people to know about it. So thank you for joining us on Newsworthy Stories.
Well, thank you for having me, Jackie. I appreciate being here today. And good morning.
So, can you tell me more about Exposure Plus TV and what it is and what people should know?
Well, Exposure Plus TV we launched during the pandemic, which was not in the business plan. So in 2018, I started writing out how I wanted to create a space where creators and film producers and TV show producers as well could actually put content without all of politics, right? And so I have been pitching my show to different networks, and because the show was positive and it was about men, nobody saw value in it. And so I felt like, you know what, I'm going to build my own table. And so amplifying the voices of content creators and providing a resource is what Exposure Plus is all about. If you can dream it, I can stream it.
Oh, right. I like that. I like that a lot because you really have, for the first time, you really have had my mind ticking, and usually I hear that when people talk to me, they're like, oh, my mind is, really clicking. I've got all these ideas, but you
Mhm.
really have my mind clicking as to how um, to change a certain aspect of what I do. And in particular, and you've got so many different variations. And so today we're going to kind of play show and tell with you. And I'm kind of excited about that because Tam is really good at that. And so she's going to show us some things on her platform and show us what it looks like. I mean, look at it. I mean, that looks like Netflix to me or any other platform that is, been around that knows what they're doing. Talk to us about what we're looking at and how people can get involved in it.
But Jackie, you're looking at Exposure Plus TV web app. So it's not a WordPress or JavaScript um, framework. This is actually a web app. So it acts as a television platform, such as like a Hulu, Amazon Fire Stick, and a Netflix online, right? And so we can house unlimited content first and foremost. So we're not sitting on a third party platform. So I'm not renting space from like a Lightcast or a TV startup. We are 100% owned by Art and Kinsley, which is a minority woman owned platform, which we are nationally certified. And so in here, what you're looking at right now is the cover banner. The wonderful thing about our banners is that these banners are actually clickable, which means that if you click this banner, you'll actually go to whatever web link it's hosted or connected to. So the infusion of connecting a brand directly to anything on our web app or even on our television platform, when you're going through Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, Apple TV, we are on all of those platforms. We're also on American Airlines and United Airlines. So if you're flying, you can watch content as well. But like I said before, all of our applications or links and banners are live. One of the things that I think is really fabulous about this is that you can actually have a channel, and under your channel we can house all of your episodes. We can take each one of your episodes and put it under your cover, and people can watch this anytime at anywhere in the world, right? So 128 countries could actually watch the content that's here. And you're saying, Tam, well, how will they understand the language if it's in English? Is everything translates to that particular GEO or that area, or the language, whether it's French, Spanish, German, the captions will read as such. So the same thing that you get from any other platform, if somebody clicks on caption or translation, it will translate the content. Another one of the things that I think you love the most, Jackie, we'll cover that, is our ability to do live events. So you can take a live event and have it pre-recorded, whether it's basketball, football, sporting, whatever the case may be, and we're able to take that event in real time. So if you wanted to just come right into our system, you could use even a platform like we're on right now, Jackie, which is StreamYard, to actually stream right into our platform. So
Wow.
you can have any camera equipment on the other side of this, as long as it's capturing. We have a way of giving you a stream key that can get you right into our system.
Now, I think you were telling me, because I'm looking at that, I think it's called Restore. You were telling me, talk to me, tell everyone about that platform. And the reason why I like it is because of the way that you could do it. Was kind of a pay to watch, or I forget the exact word you
Right.
used,
It's pay-per-view.
and pay-per-view. And
Mhm.
then at the end of it, I like the, you could have a Zoom with them, or you
Yeah.
could talk with them. So can you please explain that? Because I think that is very valuable for
Yeah.
many of the people, especially on LinkedIn, that I know of, that would be able to use this platform and be able to put their show on, but then be able to talk to the people afterwards. Talk to
Which
them
is
about
so important, right, Jackie?
that. Yes, yes, it is.
It's an added value. It really is an added value to events. First and foremost, you're taking, let's just say, Jackie, you have an event at the Hilton Hotel in your local area, and you probably have a 500 seater. When you're talking about taking your event to TV broadcast, you now have a 440 million seater with the potential of being able to reach millions of current smart TV users. And so this generation, X, Z, and Y, they're all into this. Gen X's, the streaming industry has changed drastically as far as music is concerned. And we're going to see that also with video content. But in this space, this is actually an event that has an open window, which means that people can actually go into this event and watch it for free, because it is a revival, and it is a humanitarian project that the network is running. We don't have a pay-per-view wall over the top of this, but people can see that it's going to start in 7 days. They can see the time that the event starts, and they can also share this across all social media platforms. So you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can go ahead and write a really great copy and send it out as an email blast. And here is where you can get your link to make your link live in your email blast or your post or your blog. You can use that to direct traffic to your show that's coming up. Here is where you can put in your SEO, your keywords, some strong points about your event. And again, which is pretty cool, and it doesn't happen on most TV apps, is that your links that you include are live. So people can click on those links before the event. And so once the event is started, this is the part that I think you love the most as well, Jackie, is the fact that you could collect data during your event. So here you can create your Google form. You provide us with the link, of course. And what we will do is integrate that into your live premiere. And so you can collect email addresses. Whatever your form is asking the viewers to do, you can actually do it there. You can also even use that to sell a product. So let's say that on this side, this is information about the product, and then they're filling out their information so that they can receive that product. So that's another bonus there. The other thing, too, that I so love about this is that people can actually donate during the presentation. So if you wanted to donate $5, $10 to the Restore Project, you could do that. And then after the event is over, people still want to stand by for clergy members for prayer or to meet with a suicide prevention advisor or professional. They can do that. So for this event, we definitely made sure that we had crisis management and people who have backgrounds in certifications in areas that could possibly help people who are really hurting or in need of support. And so that was very important for us. So this is good to have that piece where you can meet with people after your event, to be able to thank them, to tell them about what's coming up next, or to get more information. So let's check out what you're talking about as far as that pay-per-view part, Jackie.
Well,
And
yeah, but also I just want to point out
oh, I'm
the
sorry.
interact. No, I didn't. Oh, you're good. The how interactive this platform is. This
Mhm,
is a way for you to create relationships with people on the spot who are watching and have the questions right then. I
mhm,
can't tell you how critical that is to capture that excitement from the
mhm,
person when they're watching your show, whatever it is, or
mhm,
being made aware of something, and they're already watching, so they already have the time right then. And
mhm,
so being able to capture them immediately or letting them know that they can reach you or talk to you specifically. How often you get to actually talk to the person who is presenting? That's not something that you're able to do often. And even in a room full, when you're at a conference, there's only a handful of people that after you speak, that they actually get to talk to you. So
mhm.
I really like that about, this platform as well. But please continue.
So let's say, like your incredible class, which you teach about the mastering of storytelling and being able to get media coverage. So let's just say that this is that particular event, which this is Power Her from International Women's Day of last year. And so if people want to watch that, so this is what people can do with their content too. You can host a masterclass here. You can host your conference, your speaking engagement, your keynotes, whatever the case may be. You're taking it to television, which is broadcasting across all smart devices. So unlike other platforms, we actually syndicate your content out with one street key stream to all of the smart television devices, which is really wonderful. But listen, you can put a pay-per-view wall on it permanently where people can come back even a year later. If 1,000 people came to watch this today and it's $49.99, then it's 49,000 that I just made today off of just one piece of content. Understanding how to value content is to stop giving it away and putting a wall between the consumer, and that's going to happen regardless of who does it. um that is now going to be the nuance. You see it with magazines, right, in newspapers. I was just on the New York Times website, and in order to actually read the article, I have to subscribe. People understand how important and how valuable content is. And so, in this space right here, with the incredible women that we had on the Power Her last year event, $49 is really inexpensive because a ticket like this in person would have ran somebody hotel fees, right? So we got around hotel fees. transportation, ground transportation, air transportation. You would have had to buy a lunch, this kind of thing, and whatever other expenses comes along when you go to a conference. But to be able to actually come to a conference and pay $49 and not have and avoid being delays at the airport. And if you catch a Spirit flight, God forgive you. Uh, but
I can't
needless,
put anybody down.
no, I love Spirit, but I watch IG, and some of the Spirit introductions are really interesting. But big ups to Spirit. Okay,
Okay.
so here in this space, people could actually put a pay-per-view wall up, and it could be cheaper than $49. It could be $19.99. It could be whatever you want. It could be $326. Let's say my master's class in person is going to run somebody $1,200. Well, for them to be able to watch it on television and pay whatever the minimum is that you want for the television presentation, you're talking about making tremendous money over and over again, because guess what? Once the content is captured and it's in our system, it does not go away. It's video on demand. So it's always going to be there. This has been a year since International Women's Day happened. And this was women from all over the country. And so women in other parts of the country are still sharing it. And people are still watching this content even after 13 months of it happening, right? So
Let me ask you a question if I can, because I want to get into your expertise brain. I know your background has been in PR and all kinds of forms of media yourself. So I can let you talk about a little bit more about why you know all this in the first place. But one thing that also intrigued me was the amount of data that you gather. And when it comes to what kind of content works on a platform like this, if you're doing a show, what kind of, what really is grabbing people's attention the most, or how can you help, our content creators present the best show in the best format? You have any advice on that?
one is stick to what you know. My motto in life is never let your calling take you somewhere your character can't show up. So whatever that is, that's your niche, that you're an expert at. There is a million people out there who would love to learn from you. Stick to it, stay to it. And even if you start out with 5 people, 10 people, 20 people, you're going to watch yourself grow because people can trust you as an expert in that arena. Whether you're making television shows about politicians, stick to it, don't change up, or you're making a show about dogs. And maybe you want to get really particular about what kind of dog. Maybe it's a Yorkie or it's, pit bulls, whatever the case is, there is an audience for everyone and for every genre. But you have to have the stick to itness. And so consumers who are watching want to know what's in it for me. And I can guarantee you that television may be changing the arena, but the fabrication and the curation of content does not change. Consumers still want an opening. They want a mid. They want conflict resolution, denouement. They want the whole, because we have been trained to see content a certain kind of way. And I think today what people are breaking is the structure of a script, of a good script, the structure of television and how it's supposed to be set up. Like I want to know the antagonist, the protagonist, the characters. Character building is everything. Who are you? Why are you? And who should I be rooting for? When you don't introduce the characters right, the consumer or the viewer is kind of like, okay,
You're lost.
I'm lost. Yeah. And so we have to get right into that. And so that's why, American Idol coined it, did it, hands down. I love the way Simon Cowell introduces the contestants now, telling the backstory, right? Do you see how the backstory can matter so much? Because once you see the backstory of somebody who was homeless and their parents had cancer or they were raised in an orphan, you start to root for them, right? Like
did.
yeah,
You
we,
did. Well, the reason why I say that, you hit it on the nail, and that is what I teach, you
mm-hmm,
know, in Newsworthy Stories,
mm-hmm,
is I'm not selling products. I'm selling character. I'm selling the story behind what you're doing.
mm-hmm,
This is a beautiful platform, but the why behind it, I know is
mm-hmm,
extraordinary. And how you got here and the story that you shared with me, even you're welcome to share it. She has learned a hard way, how to get to this platform. And
mm-hmm,
that story is so valuable
mm-hmm.
to everyone. And then usually when people can relate to someone, it's like, oh, you're not just selling me a product. You're somebody who has actually made, if you will, the mistakes for me. And now you're showing me how to do it, how to do it the right way without being robbed, if you will, you know?
Hello.
Okay.
Mm-hmm,
And now you're sharing something that you are benefiting, but they are benefiting
mm-hmm,
probably 10 times more in many ways. And that is, I believe, the character of who you are and
mm-hmm,
why you are. And so I just wanted to point that out because that backstory is really, in most of my stories, is what I'm selling. I'm selling the who behind what you do.
mm-hmm. And the passion that has to come through. And that's the problem when people don't allow their character and their calling to match up. You really don't feel it, right? But for me, I want to, if somebody said, Tim, how do you define yourself? I'm the Harriet Tubman of media. And I'm going to stay in the trenches, right? Like when I first started, like you said, there's a story behind it. I got with this app developer and they were in India and Texas, and they are still out there doing it. They sold me on this wonderful world of, vast tags and IMAPs and being able to do VOD, TOD, SOD, AVOD, all of those things that they were saying that I could do with this particular platform that I was renting from them to put my app on was not true. It wasn't true. So I literally on the first app, I think it was about $40,000 lost, just gone. Then I do another application, checking out this other third party, app developer who allows you to sit on their platform. Oh my God, the worst experience ever. When I tell you, worst experience ever. One is when I went in to meet with venture capitalists and I told them that I was on this particular platform, they indicated, Tam, you don't own the app. You don't own the source code. So therefore you can't get something that you don't own and you're leasing. You can't get that funded. And I'm glad that that happened because I'm glad that I never took money from an outside source to fund this project because there's no politics to it. We can do what we want to do in this space. So I took the rest of my savings and went and found somebody to be a GC and develop me
What is it?
a general contractor. And once I got a general contractor in the tech space and explained to him exactly what I wanted the app to do, he was able to connect me with some guys who actually worked on Amazon Fire Sticks app. So when I gave it to them, they were like, "Oh my God," and still today, I'm still building. I'm steady adding applications and features to the app that will make us one of the first doing this, or that would really help to advocate for advertisers to get into the arena without the VAS tags. So if I can explain, VAS tags are how syndication of SaaS, they send a infusion of advertisement. You won't know where it's coming from, but it's basically on like a Google centerfold. I always call it a centerfold. But anywho, those ads go through and they pay $18 for the CPM. But let me just say this: you need 10,000 first and foremost eyeballs on the object or on the commercial, and you need 1,000 clicks just for $18. Okay, so let me just say this. To get to 10,000, you're going to spend about $5,000 to get one click at $18. Doesn't make sense. Financially, that does not make sense. The math isn't mathing. We're supposed to sit here and dish out tens of thousands of dollars and get, $18 from an advertiser who has a budget of $2 billion or $2 million for advertisement, where that would then hold all minority media outlets behind. I would say OTT platforms that are independent, whether minority or majority, they are going to suffer and struggle with the fact that you can't make money from vast tax and IMAP. So we look at commercial advertisers and say, how can we partner the content up? So let's say Coca-Cola wants to partner with a faith-based initiative, then I would say Restore is probably going to be the best thing possible because it's free, it's open to the general public. Coca-Cola could have their name all over it. What we'll do is we'll send out swag bags to people who attend the events. You have to learn how to partner with brands. And when you present, I think that the most important thing that I could tell anybody is your aesthetics need to be all around matching their brand. You can't go to high end brands and ask for an endorsement and you're not even there graphically. Like you don't have your aesthetics, your brand, your texture just doesn't match up with Chanel. It doesn't match up with, and let me just say this, you're going to be out there begging for crumbs if you're not willing to step your game up aesthetically.
Okay. And the reason why I say I'm glad you stopped there, because one of the things that, you did talk about, she creates all these graphics that you see, and that's why her look looks the way it does. It's a beautiful platform. When you look on it, click on it, you're going to want to keep going. And what she's saying is, and this is what one thing I do want to say for people trying to start or get into this. Sometimes you have to grow as you go. So don't prevent yourself. Don't say, well, I don't have all that, so I'm not going to do it. Don't do that. Okay, I'm going to tell you that. You have to go where you are and then get where you're going, and grow as you go. Because if you wait until you have everything, most of you won't do it. I can promise you that. And so you call her, you take the steps, or you get to where you can get started, and then grow as you go. Because you might not look like Chanel today, but you will definitely look like Chanel tomorrow. And I have to tell you that, because if I waited until everything I had was just right, my goodness, I would not have done a thing. And what I've been able to do with the simplicity of what I've done is staggering. I mean, I have to step back and go, how did this happen? And even with you calling me and, and what you shared with me about going through all my shows, I took that to heart. I appreciated your excellence and your expertise. I don't take what I do lightly. And go with your passion, just like she said, because it will overpower everything else. What you do, and it will show. So don't stop because you don't have X, Y, and Z. If you have a good product, go with that, and then learn. Let Tam direct you into the way, into the area you need to get into. She'll show you how. She'll walk you through it. So, and she's already, and she has the team that can help you do that. So don't stop at that. And she's right. That look does matter. And it, even in stories, the type of graphics that you use, it matters. Even, putting up a title, if it matches the background of everything else, it just looks richer. It just looks more professional. And that's what you want. So Um, okay, so I have to go, we're gonna have to like tell people. I know it's been rolling across the bottom on how to reach Tam and learn more about it because she has so much more to say. And I want you to connect with her and talk to her about the different platforms, the 15-minute, 30-minute, hour, your own channel. She has different, I don't know what you want to call it, not platforms, but different
There's different levels,
levels. Yeah.
yeah, to subscribers of airtime. And
Yeah.
so you start out with like 15 minutes of airtime. I always tell people to start out in that phase, especially if you haven't had content before, because that helps you to build up. And people attention spans hunty with TikTok and Instagram. Yeah, it's dropping. It's down to 60 seconds. You got 60 seconds to get in and get out. So if you got a great TV show and you start out at 15 minutes, you can always bump up to 30. You can go to 60, or you can own your own channel. And I really love working with channel owners because you have the ability to put a cooking show, a talk show, a game show. You can build out your channel however you want it to look. So let's see what that looks like. A channel inside of our center would actually allow you to have a carousel where you have all of these different shows on your channel. Just like if you clicked on, let's say you clicked on SL, which is Speak Live Nation, SLN, I'm sorry. If you clicked on there, that's the channel. And under the channel would be all of the different shows, just like you would do with BET or ABC. If you're clicking on Amazon, Fire Stick, or Hulu, they have internal channels, integration of channels that actually take you over to their platform. So you get a really great look and feel and texture to it. So I'll kind of show you guys what a channel looks like, if that's okay, if we
Sure.
have a second. So here are channels, right? And under that channel, you would see like all of the content. Let's click on the kids channel and see what happens here. So the channel for kids and then content for children is under here. However, if you wanted to open it up, more children's shows pop up. So it's under the children exposure kids. And so if you had a channel and it was called, let's say, Wisconsin TV or whatever, then under Wisconsin TV could be all of these different TV shows. However, when you click on a show, like let's say if you click on Blinky and Friends, you would see all of Blinky and Friends' other content. You see how that showed up? So that was Marcy's channel. And under here is all of the different episodes related to Marcy's channel or series of content. So Marcy is on the Exposure Kids channel, but when you click on a cover of one of the shows on that channel, under there you'll see everything else that they produce, and it can also play episodic. So, which means that let's just see what this looks like. Your trailer could be here, which is pretty cool, right?
Hey everybody, I'm Blinky, the fun-loving caterpillar. I just got back from the
Adding a trailer, I can't tell you how important that is. Adding a trailer will change 80% of your viewership. It will convert. It will also get more eyeballs than the law allows. I can guarantee you that for sure. And being in this business and looking at the analytics for the last 4 years, it shows that our research shows that it's number one to have a trailer. So you can place a trailer over the top of the content. Like I said before, people can share it, and you can also have it to where once you activate your subscription, maybe people still have to pay to see the catalog of content. So that's where the TVOD comes into place. So SVOD is a subscription video on demand. And so TVOD is where people have to pay to actually play the whole entire series of a of a piece of content or more. Maybe you've given them the whole entire collection for 30 days to be able to watch everything, or maybe it's for the lifetime of their subscription that they have access to Blinky and Friends, but that's an additional cost on top of the $2.99. So let's say to watch Blinky and Friends, once you become a subscriber, Blinky and Friends may be charging $1.99, but that's a lifetime membership to Blinky and Friends channel, and you can watch it over and over again. Isn't that hot? That's just amazing and incredible. Listen, if you can dream it, I can stream it. But we can also monetize your content so you're making the millions of dollars that YouTube is making. YouTube just cashed in 600 million or $600 billion. And so a lot of people have, I don't know, they didn't do classes on monetization of content and publishing before they came out with all of these different apps and content creators on IG and YouTube.
I'll
But
tell
I
you what, though, I think that's something, and we have to wrap it up a little here, but I do think that is something that you should consider is,
how to make
doing
the
that training and on how to do it because there's so much information and so many different options. And I
Mhm.
think that training alone, that training needs to be on your site. So that's my little 2 cent recommendation for you today, Tim. You
Thank
know,
you.
yeah, because I really think that will be one valuable to so many people. And I just think more people would watch it because if they had time to sit there and think about the different options that actually work for their show or film or documentary or podcast, then it gives them a minute to just, okay, that would work for me. I could do that.
Right.
Okay, now I can call Tam because now I know which platform I want to use. And I
Mhm.
will definitely suggest that for you. Um, last thing, last. Is there anything or what do you want people to understand about your platform the most
Mhm.
that we may not have touched on? Um, because I want them to know what is the most important thing you want them to know.
Its Exposure Plus is also backed by a public and media relations firm. So we spend a lot of time challenging ourselves on being the best in this regard in terms of press junkets, things of that nature. So we also do grant programs once a year. We do about 100,000 in giveaways as far as airtime is concerned to content creators. We have a fellowship program with the state of South Carolina University in Orangeburg, South Carolina. And so right now we're working with students. We're really excited to be able to do fellowship programs at historical Black colleges. And we want to expand that. We're looking to expand that to other universities. What it provides is the students an opportunity to have hands-on experience that they can add to their resumes so that they can have the careers that they want in television and broadcast. Most of these students coming out of college won't have the experience that they need in order to make it to the newsroom. So they're going to end up starting in the mailroom or, in the janitor's closet, and nobody wants to start there. Listen, right now with artificial technology, I want to continue to keep on spurring this out to people. It's important for our students to have hands-on experience in how artificial technology will work in broadcasting, in television, in any shape and form, so that they are well educated and ready for the workforce. And that's what I'd like to say. Thank you. Mhm.
All right, then. Thank you. And you can send those journalists to me because that's what how to get television news coverage. It's easier than you might think. It's all about it. If they understood that, they would be generating stories before they even get to the newsroom and they will
Mm.
already have their relationships. So I would love that myself. So I want to be a part of whatever that is. Whatever that is, I want to take care of
Oh
that
my
side.
gosh. Well, we would love to have you.
Oh
I
my
actually
goodness.
I signed a 5-year contract with the University of South Carolina. So it's amazing how many students show up in the work that we need to do because they don't see a lot of women in this world, right? So the work that we need to do in our schools and our institutions and getting our students prepared for the future, woo, I gotta tell you, it's a lot. It's a lot to handle, but I definitely would love to have you, Miss Jacqueline, in our space. Would love to have you. So
Yeah, I would
let's
love to be there. I
soon.
would love to be there. But Tam, you're such a wealth of information. I knew I had to do a show about you.
Thank you.
So many people I know will watch this show over and over again. I will be sharing it and sharing it. And I know you will too. So I'll be glad to, obviously when this is over, you'll be sharing it as well. So thank you
Yes.
so much for your time. Give Tam Lawrence a call, learn more about Exposure TV, subscribe to it, get to know it, understand it, and get your show on. I'm
Thank
looking forward, and let us know. I would love to know if you connect with Tam and your show is on Exposure Plus TV,
you.
because I would like to say that you heard it here first.
Well,
All
and
right.
making an incredible job, Jackie, as usual. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Have a great day.
You too.